We got football, we got the MLB postseason, and perhaps we have the biggest person in sports right now, Taylor Swift. We're going to be talking about that today on The Extra Point, which starts right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Extra Point. I'm your host, Griffin Barfield, and with me today are 5 panelists. We got another full panel this week. So today I have Brian Warner, Ashlyn Myers, David Poley, Toby Coriston, and Daniel Duggan. Guys, welcome back. And for Toby, this is your first episode, so welcome to the show. We're happy to have you here. And why don't we get started and get right into it with some college football pick'ems. And I'm just going to get right into it because the biggest game this Saturday, the Red River Showdown. We have the number 12 Oklahoma Sooners playing the number 3 Texas Longhorns at 12 o'clock on Saturday in, a top 15 matchup. So guys, who do you have in this one? Daniel?
Yeah, I'll go. Give me the Longhorns. Yeah, I will say, I like what Oklahoma has done, what Venables has done this year, especially in the tight spot he was in last year, losing a lot of recruits. But Texas has proven against Alabama and Kansas that they can hang with the big teams, so I'll take Texas.
I'm gonna go the other way with that. I'm gonna go with Oklahoma. They've looked good this year. This is a revenge game for them. They did lose 49-0 last season. I think Dillon Gabriel has looked really good, and he did look really good back when he played for UCF. And I think they're gonna take down Texas.
I'm gonna go with the Longhorns. I think Dillon Gabriel is very good, but I think that Texas is by far the better team. Oklahoma has played a terrible schedule, very weak, with their best team opponent being SMU. Really close with Iowa State early before pulling away. Didn't really look that great against Cincinnati. Texas, good win against Alabama. Beating Wyoming, running away in that fourth quarter, same as Oklahoma did to to Iowa State. So I'm going to go with the Longhorns. They're tougher, and they face better opponents. And Quinn Ewers I like more than Dillon Gabriel.
I'm also going to go with Texas. I think this is definitely a different team than we're used to. They don't know Bijan. Their O-line's looking good. They beat Kansas. They beat Alabama. I think they played definitely better teams, so give me Texas.
I'm going to leave Toby on an island. I'm going horns up. I'm going Texas. I don't think it's going to be an easy walkthrough game like it was last year. I think Texas is the better team. I think they really turned a lot of heads when they beat Alabama at home. No matter if it's Nick Saban's off year or if it's Nick Saban's best year, Alabama is just unstoppable when they play at home. And for Texas to walk in there and beat them pretty handedly, if I remember correctly, it was a 34-20?
10-point win, I think.
34-22.
22. That's still double-digit lead, double-digit score, or double-digit win. So, for me, I think Texas will be the better game. I think it's going to be like a one-score game, but I do think Texas will come out on top.
It's most certainly a game that will have not only, Big 12 implications, but college football playoff implications. We'll see if Oregon can pull off the upset. Let's see if Toby can get a win in this column, but people are riding with the Longhorns. Next up, another noon matchup, and perhaps another fun one. We have the only 2-loss team in the top 25, the number 23 LSU Tigers, traveling to take on the number 21 Missouri Tigers, who are undefeated. Who wins this one, guys? Ryan?
So I'll start us off. I can't do a Coach O impression, and I know he's going now, but he was always my favorite. He goes, "Go Tigers!" Right? Is that how I say it? I think LSU will come out. I'm kind of shocked to see them below Missouri, but again, I've watched LSU a little bit more than Missouri. But I think LSU is going to go out on top. I think they're going to come in. I think they're going to win, and I think it can be technically an upset of the week. Well, not of the week, but an upset in that game.
I guess we'll see. I'm going to go with Missouri. I think they definitely can produce offensively. They also have a solid defense. And LSU might be the more talented team, but they are coming off a loss to Ole Miss. So I'm going to go with Missouri.
I'm going LSU. I like Brian Kelly off a loss. It's going to be a tough road atmosphere in Missouri, but I like Jaden Daniels. I like Logan Diggs. They got great firepower on offense. The defense definitely needs some work. Terrible last week, but Ole Miss's offense is also good. But I would say it's more on LSU's defense. So they're going to need to do some coaching, get it up. But they will be able to outscore Brady Cook, a little bit banged up Brady Cook, and that Missouri Tigers offense. LSU, more talented, tougher team. They'll win.
I feel like it is also important to say it's not a primetime game. And we know Brian Kelly can tend to be pretty bad in a primetime game, but he's really good when he hits that 12. It's like the Kirk Cousins of coaching, if you will.
I got to go with Mizzou. LSU has lost 3 of its last 4 games when they're favorites against an AP-ranked opponent. They just haven't looked like they've played with any heart this season. And coming off that tough loss against Ole Miss, I don't see them bouncing back in an away game at Mizzou. I'm taking Mizzou.
Yeah, I'll take Missouri also. Same reasons. Also because Brady Cook just doesn't turn the ball over. 14 touchdowns, 0 picks, 0 fumbles. So I'll take that.
Interesting, yeah. And, once again, I think that will be another fun one. Who comes out? Which Tigers will come out on top? That one will be a noon game again on the ESPN. Next up, we're going around the SEC. We'll talk about another SEC matchup, and we're talking about the top team in the country. We have the number 1 Georgia Bulldogs, who have looked iffy. They did start off slow against Auburn, did pull out a win in Auburn, which is huge. They are hosting the number 20 Kentucky Wildcats, who are also undefeated, coming off a big win over Florida. So, do Georgia hold on, or do Kentucky upset Georgia at Sanford Stadium? Daniel?
I'm kind of torn on this one. I shouldn't be. It should be Georgia all the way. Kentucky's going to do what they always do. They play really well. They get the fans' hopes up, and then they shoot themselves in the foot and lose by like 20 points. So
I'm riding with Georgia as well. I don't trust Carson Beck, but I just don't see them losing to a Kentucky team.
I'm going with Georgia. Kentucky has no passing attack. Devin Lear was a very good quarterback at NC State. Hasn't been great at Kentucky, but he hasn't turned the ball over much. They have a fantastic rushing attack. Scored last week when the opposing team had 12 men on the field, still scored on a rushing touchdown, which is awesome. But they're not going to be able to run the ball down to Georgia, and when they have to go to the pass, their attack is already terrible. Try doing that against Georgia's secondary. Carson Beck will be able to manage a quick and efficient game without turning the ball over. They'll do what they got to do. Give me the Bulldogs.
So I think this might be a clean sweep. I'm also going to go with Georgia. Obviously they're undefeated. Nobody's surprised about that. They have had a little trouble getting momentum on offense, so they might need to do a little coaching and correct that. But if they do that, absolutely Georgia's going to win.
I'm just going to round out the table. I'm going Georgia. I wanted to draw the dog, but my artistic capabilities don't have a cap. So I went with the name, right? I think the name's Uga.
Yeah.
I forgot how it's pronounced. I'm going Georgia. I just find it very hard to believe. For some reason, I don't feel like they should be one still, but at the same time, I look back at it and I don't know who should be one, but that's a whole different debate. I still think Georgia's going to come out on top on this game. I find it very hard to believe. I'm kind of in the same boat as Toby when he said it. I find it very hard to see Georgia losing to Kentucky, especially when they're home. So, and in prime time, I think 7 p.m., right?
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I find that very tough to see Kirby Smart lose to a SEC rival in Kentucky.
Yeah, and Brian, you made up a good point. Georgia is at home. It's a huge game for them, and maybe they haven't been playing like the number 1 team in the country, the last few weeks, but maybe they, show up and kind of prove all the voters wrong. So we'll see what happens there. That will be a fun night one. But speaking of other night ones, we're talking about Notre Dame again, and they have to go through a gauntlet schedule. We have USC in the future too, but they are going to be traveling to Louisville to be taking on the number 25 Louisville Cardinals. So guys, does Notre Dame come out on top in this one, or are you guys going to take the Cardinals? Ryan?
All right, I'm going Notre Dame. I would say Notre Dame, but it's Notre Dame, I guess, is how the pronunciation is correct. I love the Louisville team. They look so much fun. They look so exciting. I believe they're still 5-0. They won last week to continue their streak. They haven't been this good since Lamar Jackson played, I believe, because I'm trying to look back. I haven't seen a year. But it's hard to go against Notre Dame. I mean, I'm trying to remember. Sam Hartman, if I said the name correctly, looked phenomenal in their game at Duke, at least to close it out. So I'm very excited to watch them. I think Notre Dame will probably break back into the top 10. Because I believe they started the year in top 10, or am I incorrect? Okay.
Just outside, I think.
They were just outside. Okay, I think
Yeah.
they will crack into the top 10 this week, but I think it's gonna be probably like 7-10 points. But I have Notre Dame.
I like Sam Hartman. I like Jaden Thomas. Give me Notre Dame. They also have won the last 5 of their matchups against Louisville. I don't see that changing. So.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Irish. They're tougher. They're more experienced. They are a college football playoff contender, possible national title contender. I don't think Louisville would have the guts and that ability to go toe-to-toe with Ohio State like Notre Dame did. Give me the Irish. Give me the Irish easy.
Going with the Irish as well. I think Louisville has a really solid defense, maybe the best edge rushers in the nation, but their offense just won't be able to handle the Notre Dame defense. I mean, Jack Plummer has 11 touchdowns and 6 interceptions on the year. 5 of those touchdowns came against Boston College, so if that didn't happen, he'd be completely even touchdowns to interceptions. I don't see them doing anything against Notre Dame.
Yeah, Louisville's 5-0, but that's 5-0 against some pretty weak competition. Notre Dame's been able to hang with the top 10 teams, so I'll take Notre Dame all day.
Yeah, if you want to do college football math, Notre Dame beat NC State 45-24, and Louisville just beat NC State 13-10.
Yeah, they did not look good in that game.
Most certainly, and like David said, I think Notre Dame. I think as well, Notre Dame are a college football playoff caliber team. Maybe if they win out, they have a gauntlet schedule. So, like I said, we'll see what happens there. Maybe Louisville comes out. They're an underdog team in the ACC, I believe, but. We're going to switch gears here, and we're going to be talking about the NFL and perhaps the biggest topic that everybody is talking about, and that's Taylor Swift. And the whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, that whole thing was seen again last Sunday. 2 weeks ago, she was in Arrowhead Stadium to watch the Chiefs beat the Chicago Bears, but she was in the Meadowlands to watch the Chiefs beat the Jets on Sunday Night Football. So, guys, here's your prompt for the hashtag game. Taylor Swift makes another appearance at the Chiefs game, and the Chiefs beat the Jets on Sunday Night Football.
I said, I knew you were trouble when you walked in because, I get it. It's, ESPN, all these news media, NFL get money off of their relationship and trying to get the Swifties involved in football, increase their viewership. But as a football fan who doesn't really care about Taylor Swift, it's just annoying. I can't take it. Just please stop. Please stop.
I'm along those same lines. I said hashtag it's a business. Taylor Swift drives a lot of consumers and is bringing a lot more viewers to the games, which is increasing the money. So it's good for the NFL, but as a viewer who would like to watch the game, it's not my favorite.
Yeah, I'm going to go hashtag reputation. So I'm a big Taylor Swift fan of her music. Not a huge fan of her, as a person. Not a huge fan of what's happening in the NFL right now. I think we're completely losing track of what football is. It's supposed to be an escape. It's supposed to be a sport. It's not a celebrity show. This isn't, the Met Gala. It's nothing like that. We're supposed to watch football. I'm trying to watch my sports, have fun. I don't need panning up to Taylor Swift, everything. I don't need all these people who hate football coming in and being annoying, and if you want to learn football, if you have a genuine desire to watch football, hey, I'll take you any day of the week. But if you're just going to be an annoying Taylor Swift psycho Swiftie, I'm not having it. Thanks.
Oh my gosh.
I love her music. I'm a big Taylor Swift
I'm
musician
agree
fan,
with
but
you.
Get out of my face.
How do you follow up with that?
Is it bad one? Is that what it is? Hashtag bad.
That's a good one. I said hashtag love story because that's one of her songs, and it's a love story. But is it really? Or are they looking for clicks?
It's probably fake.
Well, because, okay, I would call myself a low-key Swiftie because I like Taylor Swift, but I think her fans are the most annoying people. Who's paying? I remember kids in my school, in high school last year when the tour came out, they skipped school to go to the concert and spend $6,000 on ticket. I don't like her that much. I'll watch it on YouTube or something. Or people were watching live videos of people standing outside of the stadium listening to the concert. Just listen to the song on Spotify. Okay, anyway. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go hashtag not so Swifty. I just like that hashtag. She's there. There's been talks about, she's there just because she's talking with Donna Kelsey, I believe is the mom's name. Then there was talk about her then going over Deadpool or whatever because it was Ryan Reynolds and all are over there. And then on top of that, you get these national. Obviously, we had a national alert today for the cell phone. And then I was talking to Griffin about this before. and there's a national alert that comes through, and they make these memes about it, and one of them was national alert, Taylor Swift is actually dating Kadarius Toney, not Travis Kelce. So it's like all this stuff, and to me it's just, it was fun for like a second, but then it's just gotten way too outdated. It's one thing to constantly harp on an NFL player. It's another thing to constantly harp on a relationship that, first off, not even confirmed yet. It's only rumored to be. And secondly, it's also a person that's not even really affiliated with NFL until she came to.
It's also really messed up, like to completely use their personal lives for like this. This is just the
even
worst.
Travis
I
Kelce,
hate this. I hate this.
Even Travis Kelce said that he thinks it's being outdone and outdated. And I'm trying to remember. Oh, we learned in our sports news media. This is another thing, kind of tying into the business part. There was apparently a bet that Travis Kelce would get exactly 19.89 yards.
It was an over/under from one of the sportsbook betting
I thought it was
lines.
exactly each half.
No, it was not
19.89.
exactly. It was an over/under line for him to get more than or less than 19.89 yards in each half.
Oh, I thought Dr. Keefe said exactly.
Nope.
So that was my fault in perspective. But I don't know. I'm just like, I think it was cool for a week. Now it's just kind of getting out of hand.
Yeah, fair enough. I think, I'll take my perspective from it. I think it's great to an extent. You have, you're engaging a lot more women in, football, which I think is really important. But, it comes to a point where, come on, it's a little bit excessive a little bit. But, we'll see, if she travels with Travis. I think they play the Vikings this weekend in Minneapolis. So, once again, that should be an interesting one. Let's see if she makes an appearance there. But
Griffin, can I add one more thing to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
That I'm coming over. There was someone said that now all of a sudden the Taylor Swift fans think just because of the one game that Zach Wilson's better than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
You see all that? And they're now going
So
at
that's
it.
funny.
Because it throws
Very
everything.
funny.
It's like everything got off balance. Anyway.
It was-
I'm gonna add that in.
No, 100%. You're all good. Yeah, it was. That was just a weird game too. I think you can agree with me that Zach Wilson outplayed Patrick Mahomes too. That some would like to say, but the Chiefs got the win. But interesting. We'll get some more football. Well, actually, let's move on to the next team. Is my New York Giants. Going back to another New York team, they lost to the Seattle Seahawks. It was a lot to a little. I certainly was in my bag, but. Another stat is that they have failed to hold a lead at any point in this game, any point in the game this season. And they show that again with a loss to the Seahawks on Monday. So, and the Giants are 1-3, funny enough. So, what is your hashtag for that, guys?
Go.
I really want to start.
Yeah, all good.
So, they obviously have the nickname #Gmen, and I apologize, Griffin, in advance. But I'm on #Lmen.
No hard feelings.
It's so sad to see a team that looked like they were on the rise all of a sudden just crumble out of nowhere. And it probably was there was probably foreshadowing in it. I mean, they were only 9-7, I believe, last year going into it. 9-7, 9-8.
They were, I think, 9-7-1.
9-7-1, they had a tie. It's so sad to see it. And then you have obviously the Barkley, and now it's really good for Barkley because it's showing, or Saquon Barkley, the running back, because it's showing how valuable he is to the offense. I mean, I think I saw that they have some sort of a losing record. I can't remember exactly. I think it was maybe 5-13, something like that, in 18 games that Barkley's missed. I don't remember the exact number. I have to look that back up. And then when Barkley's there, they actually have there were 5 or 6 games over 500 on the record. So I mean, it's very good for Barkley, but for the Giants as a whole, I mean, Evan Neal, one of the top tackles last year, completely looked lost. There was a highlight of him blocking his own tight end, who was already engaged in a block. So I mean, it's just the offense is in shambles. The defense can't tackle, at least not in the Seahawks game, and they've had that trend for a while. And even that follows Martindale back to the Ravens time when the team would just be known for not being able to finish tackles. But to me, it's really sad to see a team that was so promising and young to just crumble like that, especially when Isaiah Simmons is on there, who we all love at Clemson.
Right.
That's my take.
Okay,
Sorry.
you're good.
Had a lot of baggage on that one.
For real. So my hashtag is #10 months ago, because the last time the Giants fans saw their team score a touchdown at home was 10 months ago. It's okay, Griffin.
Don't worry, I'm built for this. I've had many years of being.
Shout out Pat Shermer. All right, I could do better than the Giants offensive line. Mark Lewinsky's a disgrace. I was not a good offensive lineman. I played in high school. I started JV. But, I'm not 6'5". I'm not paid to be out there. But I think I probably could get a pass blocking grade of 1 in a game. I mean, out of 99, the lowest you can possibly get is 1. I think I could do that. Mark Lewinsky, get a new job. Let's go.
I'm going with hashtag 19 seconds because they did manage to hold a lead for 19 seconds against the Cardinals at the end of the game.
Against
So
the worst team in the NFL.
There's a plus.
Awesome.
But yeah, their offensive line is awful. I mean, the Seahawks have one of, if not the worst, defensive line in all of football. And they sacked Daniel Jones 10 times. 10 times.
11.
It was 11?
They had 11.
They had 5 going into the game and then had 11.
Yep.
They had 11 team sacks.
11 teams. Okay.
10 were on Daniel Jones.
Okay, there we go. But it's just like you can't play football if you're getting sacked 11 times in a game.
Amen.
Yeah, G-men to G-boys because, like, that O-line, shoot, stiff breeze knock them over.
They're missing Andrew Thomas.
That was the best answer I've seen. And I love
That's
lowercase
so
the G
funny.
too.
Yeah.
To be fair though, they're working on it. They signed Justin Pugh, so maybe they'll drop to 8 sacks a game.
It's okay, Griffin.
That's a very good question. Yeah.
Syracuse
Justin
offensive
Pugh.
lineman.
Just
That's where we're going with.
It's okay,
know,
Griffin. It's okay.
maybe they need 12 men on the field to
I
get
still think
anything
Daboll's a
done.
great coach. I just think, hey, maybe it's Caleb Williams' tanking season. Or Drake May. Because Caleb Williams would probably be like the Bears. I mean,
It's not Daniel Jones' fault. They're not going to bail him after giving him that massive thing. Even Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers would look terrible behind that offensive
You
line.
can't tell me Daniel
no
Jones.
running
You can't tell me Daniel Jones is going to win a Super Bowl.
Practically, it was
not
supposed,
say that.
Evan Neal was supposed to be a franchise turning left tackle, and all of a sudden he goes to the right side and is completely awful. There are people that have changed and have been okay. He's been awful.
Oh, he's bad at left tackle too. That's why
Yeah.
they switched him.
That's where I'm curious though. How are you going to go with that? Anyway, go ahead. We're going to talk about this afterwards.
No, I mean, most certainly, I'm the lone Giants fan here, and I certainly have thoughts behind it. I certainly have takes behind it. That could be a song for another time, though. Let's move on, and we're gonna move on to baseball. It's the first time we're talking about baseball this year, and that is because the MLB season has come to a close, and I believe it is 14 teams now. I believe 14 or 12. I really don't follow baseball as much as I should. But the wild card round began yesterday. There were 4 games yesterday. So you guys have a hashtag for the end of the MLB season, or rooting for a team or something like that? Anyone want to start?
I'm happy to start. I went hashtag less than 20 because the Tampa Bay Rays in their wild card game against the Texas Rangers had less than 20,000 fans show up to that. Does anybody know when the last time that happened was?
100 years ago.
1919. Can you tell me? It was the World Series, very famous World Series. Can anyone tell me why there were so few fans at that game? No, that was when Shoeless Joe Jackson and the White Sox decided to decided to throw the World Series. So that was the last time less than 20,000 fans had shown up to a playoff game in baseball. So I don't know what's happening with Tampa. I mean, they lost 4-0 yesterday. I believe they lost 7-1 today.
They got a new stadium.
Tampa's out.
Tampa lost. They just looked bad. I mean, Texas is good, but they just looked bad.
I didn't get a chance to get the score out.
It's a good thing their fans didn't show up, but that's just embarrassing.
That's all. Especially all the talking today. Anyway, go ahead. I'm not going to take it.
Oh, we're good. I was just going to say go Phillies because my grandfather's a big Phillies fan, grew up in Philadelphia. Said the same thing last year. So.
Yeah, I'll go hashtag best postseason in sports. I'm a massive baseball fan. I'm not sure many other people are on this panel. I know Brian is, but I love baseball. I think baseball is a great sport. I think it's America's pastime. I think there's so many elements of it, and in October, it just gets so passionate, so much energy, walk-off moments, crazy pitching performances. Every single strike could be the defining moment of your team's season. And, my team's not in it, but I'm just so excited to see that. I think baseball's totally back. Rule changes were a massive success for the regular season. Regular season was great. Braves look great. I know everybody down here is a Braves fan. But, I'm super excited for the postseason. World Series prediction, Phillies beat the Texas Rangers.
Interesting. Ashlyn?
Hashtag go Mets, kind of.
They're not in the playoffs.
I don't care. I don't.
True fan.
My friend likes the Mets. I don't think
Mets.
they're very good, but good. I'm doing this for my friend. Go Adriana.
Griffin, you're a Mets
I support your team.
You're a Mets fan?
I am, yeah.
Are you
Gosh,
serious?
that's really.
It was a tough year.
You picked the really wrong New York team.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you're a Giants-Mets fan?
Yeah.
That's very unique.
Normally it's like Jets,
I'll get
Mets,
to that.
and
I'll
you're
get to that in a little bit. Brian, you gotta get a hashtag real
I'll tell you
fast.
that story, but I'm like, I'm in hashtag babybirds. Obviously, I'm an Orioles fan. I mean, obviously, to probably the people up here, maybe not to you guys. I love the Orioles. I love what they've done. They've turned around the franchise completely. I mean, they're the first MLB team ever to go from 110 plus loss season 3 years later and get a 100 plus win season. Their 110 loss was 2021, and now, of course, 2023, they're at 101, I believe is what they had. I absolutely love it. Is it going to be a smooth ride? Probably not. It's just exciting that baseball, postseason baseball, is finally back at Camden Yards, one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best stadiums in the entire league. So I think it's really cool, especially the history behind everything around that stadium. It's just really cool to have postseason baseball back. And I mean, they're young. I mean, you got Jackson Holiday coming up, and you have Kobe Mayo, who just won the East Region or East League MVP. It's going to be exciting, but I'm very excited to go root for them. And maybe they're playing the Rangers. I don't know. It's going to depend on if the Twins win.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I mean, I think Camden Yards will be the most electric atmosphere in the postseason this year, just because of the drought that they've had.
Whoa.
I think it'll be the most rocking stadium.
No way.
Do I think they're going to win? No, I don't think they're even making it to the World Series. I think they're just too young. They don't have enough experience. But in the next 5 years, do I think they have a really good shot at a World Series? Absolutely.
The Rays one shocks me because they talk so much. Like, if you ever look at the Twitter between the Rays and the Orioles whenever they played, they would talk so much and be like, oh, we're going to get the first seed anyway. And then they go out. If they had the first seed, they wouldn't have any fans to cheer them on. Like, that would be sad because, I mean, you can't get any better than Rays versus Rangers, in my opinion, at least in a wild card round.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that is a major offensive. So.
Sorry.
Most certainly, and I have to agree with David. I think playoff baseball is top tier. Like you said, every strike matters, every hit matters. Everything. I think, that, and hot take for me. I think not college hockey. I think playoff hockey is just as great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am a Mets fan. I am a Giants-Mets fan, strictly because I didn't really follow baseball until 2 years ago. My brother is a diehard Mets-Jets fan, and we only went to Mets games, so I guess I started following them. But yeah, I think, a couple good games before, I move on to the NFL pick'em. You guys have a World Series winner, Daniel, Phillies, right?
Phillies, yeah.
Phillies, Toby?
I think it's going to go to the Dodgers.
Dodgers.
Phillies.
Phillies.
The Mets.
They're not in the postseason.
I know.
Pick a random team.
I don't know.
Say the
I'm going with the Mets. I don't care. No, I don't like the Braves.
Brian?
It's hard to go away from the Braves, but I just don't see them going all the way. I just feel like something's going to upset them. I have a feeling it's going to be Orioles-Dodgers, and I think the Orioles are going to come out on top. And I understand I'm a fan, but that's just how I feel. I mean, that's what it is. It's not my fault your team didn't make it.
They don't have any pitching.
John Means has looked really good.
You biased
John Means
loser.
has
Especially
John Means, great
he's got to have one of the best comebacks from.
Radish.
It's on top.
Well, they don't have Bautista, but I'm
Go
actually kind of
Mets.
excited to watch Fuji. Fuji and Cano.
I think if you guys had Bautista, you guys would have had a really legitimate shot at the World Series. Now I think it's a little iffy.
But Rodriguez, Means, and Bradish are the top three.
Yeah, and they're solid.
They're really solid. They can definitely get better, but they're very solid. So I'm not bitching. That's what I'm going with.
For sure, and maybe biased Brian, maybe he comes back, but
Already back.
most certainly is going to be a really fun postseason and really fun month of baseball. So I'm really excited for it. But now let's switch gears. We're going back to the NFL, and we have 5 games we're going to do some pick'ems for, and we'll start in London. We have the 2-2 Jacksonville Jaguars, who are staying there. They had a win last week against the Atlanta Falcons. Whether or not you watched it from Andy's room on the Toy Story broadcast, they'll be playing against the Buffalo Bills, who have, ever since their first loss, they've been getting hot. They look like one of the best teams in football again. So, who comes out on top in this one?
I'll take the Bills, even though Jacksonville kind of has a strong home field advantage, being that they've played a lot in London and they get that extra week to just stay there. But the Bills looked so good last week against the Dolphins. That defense shutting them down, they earned my respect. So, and the Jaguars offense, hate to say it, they haven't looked as good as they were last year.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills as well. I think Josh Allen is still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. and Jacksonville is just too hit or miss right now.
Teams that have a massive blowout win 1 week are usually picked against successfully the next week. I'm going to go with the Jaguars. Home field advantage in London. Extra week out there. The Bills are going to have to deal with the time difference. The Jaguars will not. The Jaguars have Trevor Lawrence. The Buffalo Bills secondary is a little injured. I'm going to go with the Jaguars in London, just to even it out between that big win from the Bills coming back down to earth.
I'm going to go with the Bills. This is a fire emoji. So Bills fire emoji. There are 4 touchdown margin of victory last week against Dolphins. Looked really, really good. It kind of hurt my feelings, so I'm a Dolphins fan. But I think when the Bills are on, they're on. And they are. So.
Wait,
Bills.
I thought you were a Patriots fan.
No, that's like second. Dolphins on
You're
top.
a Bills and a Patriot. How does
She's
that
a
It's
Dolphins,
so
Patriots, whatever
It's a
fan.
long-
So you just like the AFC East.
I guess. I grew up
You root for a
Dolphins
conference.
So
fan,
she doesn't
and I
feel
grew
the
up a
pain of the
Patriots
Jets.
fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a Jets fan.
That's a good avoidance.
I'm not a Giants fan. I'm not a Raiders fan.
They are not the AFC East, so that's a good thing.
So,
Brian?
just talking about the NFL.
I'm going to have to go to therapy for my relationship with the Bills. Every time I want to believe in them, they let me down. And every time I think they're going to let me down, they all of a sudden blow out. Like, I don't get it. They lose against the Jets. They blow out the Raiders. They blow out the Dolphins. Are they going to lose to the Jaguars? We don't know. Like, part of me wants to say the Bills are going to go in there and win because they're last week. But if I've looked at any other previous season, sometimes they have a blowout win, and then they come right back and they lose in what should have been a very easy win. And it's the same thing when they hit the playoffs. I mean, you're going across the water. You're going to have to deal with the time difference. Jacksonville already has a week ahead of you in time difference-wise. Plus, it's practically, what is it, the Wimbledon Jaguars, I think is what we called them. I don't know who brought up the name. That basically, it may have been Patrick or Grayson from cover 2. I'm like, it's tough not to, as much as I want to go with the Bills, I think I'm going to have to go with the Jaguars simply for the fact that everything's kind of pointing their way, and I just don't see the Bills replicating what they had last week, especially with the injury to Tre'Davious White, which is a big hit to their secondary. Plus, I think, do the Jaguars have a better line than the Dolphins? I've never really looked that closely at those lines. I don't know if anyone knows up here.
Not really.
About the same, yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing really pops out.
Nothing
really,
special.
Jaguars are getting Cam Robinson back.
They are.
Yes.
And the Dolphins lost Armstead in the game, didn't they?
Yes.
So, like, I'm probably going to go with Jaguars. Yes, I will go with Jaguars. I'll commit to it. I will go with Jaguars. I think it's either going to be a close win. That's my prediction.
Interesting. Most certainly a fun one in London. But we'll get back to our regular Sunday football program, and we're going to talk about Daniel's team and I guess Ashlyn's second favorite team, the New England Patriots. They are going to be hosting the 2-2 New Orleans Saints in Foxborough at 1 o'clock on Sunday. So, guys, who do you got in this one?
That was last week. Was the worst week as a Patriots fan. I mean, we won 6 Super Bowls. I can't sit here and complain. I'm watching the Giants do all this stuff, and the Jets suck for so long. But man, that week last week was so rough. We lost Judon and Gonzalez in one game. I still think we'll beat the Saints. Our team has to be pretty pissed off from last week. So our offense has very minimal talent, but the Saints themselves are struggling. So give me the Patriots.
My God.
Yeah, I'm going with the Patriots as well. Slightly beat up Derek Carr. I mean, you look at the Patriots' 3 losses, the Eagles, the Cowboys, and who's the other one? The Dolphins, I believe. So, I mean, 3 really good teams. By no means do I think the Patriots are a good team, but I don't think the Saints are either. So I'm giving them the edge at home.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Patriots. Bounce back win. I completely agree with what you just said. The Patriots I don't think the Patriots are as bad as people think they are. They have played 3 out of 4, Super Bowl championship contenders. Great offenses, pretty good defenses, especially Cowboys defense. Cowboys defense is the best defense in the NFL by far. So, I mean, that's tough. The Saints do not have a good offense either. Derek Carr is banged up for sure. He was bad last week. The Saints look terrible. So Alvin Kamara last week set the record for most receptions with the least amount of receiving yards. He had 13 catches for, I believe, around 53 yards. And he had,
It was less than that. It was 30.
33 yards, sorry. And he would have had 12 catches for 22. So, he had 1 reception for 11. So They were just throwing the ball like behind the line of scrimmage all day. Offense looks terrible. They are trying to be a Sean Payton team, but they don't have the identity or the toughness of Sean Payton. Taysom Hill, he's still there, I guess. Like, give me the Pats. They're tougher. Belichick bounce back. I don't think he's completely washed. I think he's done, but I think he's still got some tricks left in the sleeve.
So the Saints have had 7 straight games of scoring 20 or less points. I am also a believer in my second favorite team, so I'm going to go with the Patriots. Go ahead.
I'm absolutely baffled the amount. I mean, I get Daniel's point because Daniel's obviously a Patriots fan, and I get Ashton because you're a Patriots fan, but I'm absolutely baffled by the fact that we're going 4 people for the Patriots. You're acting like they didn't just get blown out by the Cowboys who were missing their top corner. I mean, this is, I don't know, blasphemy, whatever you want to call it. I'm going Saints. I get it. They gave up a lead to the Packers, who are now, 3-1, I think?
2-2?
2-2, maybe. I mean, they're looking pretty good. I mean, Jordan Love isn't as bad as people say he is. They also lost to, I'm trying to remember, the Bucks, and the Bucks have been looking really good. I mean, they're 3-1. I looked it up. They're 6th in the league right now in record. I'm going Saints. I don't think it's as bad as it was. Alvin Kamara had his first game back. I still remember the memes of someone posted his face on top of a guy that was getting a release from jail, and he's like, I'm free, like that type of thing, because he was suspended. I mean, this is just like Deshaun Watson, where suspension-wise, where the rust has to be knocked off. It's anyone else that might miss time. I'm going Saints. I think with the losses of Matthew Judon and Christian Gonzalez, both out, I believe, for the season, or at least this next game, and on top of that, I don't trust Mac Jones more than I would trust Derek Carr. I trust Derek Carr with his weapons more than Mac Jones with Devontae Parker and Juju Smith-Schuster. And
Our only weapons are really Hunter Henry and Stevenson hasn't shown up this season.
yeah,
So,
that's where it's like,
yeah.
if Judon was there and if Gonzalez was there, I would probably trust the Patriots more. But with 2 of your top
Those are
players
like
out,
our best players on the whole team.
and maybe
like-
J.C. Jackson back, but he's been injured recently, so you don't know how well he's going
Yeah.
to do, if it's going to be a system thing. So, I didn't show my board, but I'm going to go Saints. That's if you didn't get it quite right yet, but I'm going to go with the Saints. I think it's going to be close, probably like 22-14, 22-16, but
Yeah, I agree with Brian. I think, no matter how this game goes, I think it's a close game. I think the Patriots always keep it close at home. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Next up, and perhaps, one of the surprise teams in the NFL right now is the Houston Texans. They're a 2-2 team. They are going to be traveling to Atlanta to take on the 2-2 Falcons as well. I've just been really impressed with this Texans team. I've been impressed with the Falcons as well. Obviously, 2 top offensive Rookie of the Year candidates in Bijan Robinson on, the Falcons, and then C.J. Stroud on the Saints. I think he's the front runner now. So which team comes out on top on this one?
I'm going to Texans. I love what I've seen from them recently. Again, this kind of comes down to which quarterback do you trust more. And I trust Desmond Ridder less than I trust C.J. Stroud. I started out with the wrong quarterback, which is why I kind of changed my wording. I love Bijan. Bijan's been doing pretty well recently in some of the games. But I'm going Texans. I think Texans are going to be able to, again, close game, but I think they're going to be able to pull it out.
We know you love Bijan, for sure.
I'm just saying, he has more rushing yards.
Oh, no.
Oh no, I shouldn't
Oh,
have.
no.
No, not bringing it up. The Texans have had 2 impressive wins after 2 bad losses. C.J. Stroud looks good, and so I'm going to go with the Texans.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Falcons. I think Desmond Ridder can manage a game. He's thrown a lot of interceptions lately. That hasn't been his MO, his entire time in college, leading Cincinnati to a playoff. His first year in the NFL, he was pretty good with the ball. I think he'll get back to being pretty good with the ball. The Falcons at home, I'm going to go with the Falcons. The Texans haven't proven anything to me. C.J. Stroud's still a rookie. Falcons defense pretty good, and they got a really good offense to take control of the tempo. With Bijan, they need to target Kyle Pitts more. Like, it's really bad what's going on. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Did you see the stat of Jonnu Smith? Jonnu Smith has 1 less game and has more targets and yards. And
Yeah.
the same amount of touchdowns, 0.
Yeah.
I picked him up for fantasy because there's no tight ends. Yeah.
I'm going with the Texans as well, kind of for the same reasons as everybody else. I don't think either of these teams are anything special, but I trust C.J. Stroud a lot more than Desmond Ridder. I forget Desmond Ridder is a quarterback sometimes. And C.J. Stroud has proven himself. He's a fringe top 10 quarterback in the league right now.
Okay, we got to cool this off. He's played 4 games.
Okay, but can you name 10 quarterbacks that are better than him right now, like throughout these first 5 games?
Yeah, probably.
I could.
Go
I
ahead.
definitely could.
Go
I
ahead.
would say he's like probably like
Good.
10 to 12.
That's why I said fringe top 10. He's
I agree.
very close. He's still a rookie. He hasn't proven himself by any means, but he's looked very solid, and it's Atlanta.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'll take, based off of what Atlanta did last week, I'll take the Texans. I know they had to travel all the way to London. It's just, I still don't know what to think about C.J. Stroud. He's looked good, but it's been 4 games. I didn't trust him before. I'm starting to trust him now, but it's still the Texans. Gotta
Correct.
wait this out a little bit.
Delta both teams. Like, that's like,
Yeah, I mean, they're
like,
both bad. I can't, it's like,
They're both 2-2. They're
Pick
neither
your
team is
poison.
really bad.
Not
it's
like
like,
that.
It's like which one's
it's
like
not
more mediocre?
bad,
Yeah.
but it's not
They're
above
Just like
average.
the
Yeah.
Chiefs
Correct.
Bills 2020 playoffs or whatever it was. This is like, I don't know, battle of the.
This is like one step up
it's
from
not-
Broncos Bears.
It's kind of like battle
It's a
of the
few
babies.
steps up
These
from
are like
that.
the battle of the babies because these are both young teams that are like rising,
I don't know if you can say rising.
semi-rising.
Maybe for the Texans.
Maybe.
They're just like what the scale is based off
The
of.
battle
It's
of
like
the
the middle.
kids, the battle of the babies.
Yeah.
The
Teenagers.
Baby Bowl.
The baby
The
bowl.
baby bowl.
Yes,
Baby bowl.
That would be perfect for it.
Yeah, who knows? And I think like they said, battle of mediocrity and some hot takes on C.J. Stroud. That's what just happens here at the Extra Point. Just people just go crazy. I mean, and we mentioned B. John Robinson too. I'm surprised Brian didn't really go on a tangent. But moving on before that happens, we got 2 good NFC teams that look like playoff contenders. We have the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles, the reigning NFC champions, and they are traveling across the country to take on the 3-1 Los Angeles Rams. So, guys, in this one, interesting one, but do the Eagles stay undefeated?
Eagles a bit slipping a little bit. I'll go with the little Rams upset here. Also because the Eagles have to travel across country and just struggled against the Patriots and the Commanders. So give me the Rams. Give me the Rams.
I'm taking the Eagles. I think if the Rams had some sort of home field advantage, they would win this game, but they just really don't have a fan base, and I think the Eagles are just going to be slightly better than them in this game.
I really like what Daniel said. I always usually pick the team that has the home field advantage against the team that's traveling the entire way across the country, dealing with the time difference, dealing with new, staying area and everything like that. But I'm going to go with the Eagles over the Rams. The Eagles are a tougher team. The Rams' offense is not particularly good. The Eagles' defense is very good. The Rams' offensive line is not great anymore. Very, old, beaten down, everything like that. They've really had to, it's a surprise that they're 3-1. They are in a rebuild, retool, whatever you want to call it. A lot, they're in cap hell. It's really tough for what's going on. But, Puka Nacua, awesome. Cooper Kupp will be back, but he's not back right now. The Eagles' secondary is good enough. They'll zero in on Puka and make guys like Van Jefferson beat him. And I would rather pick the Eagles over Van Jefferson.
I'm going to go with the Eagles as well. I think watching them, they're starting to look a lot like they did last year, offensive-wise. In the past few games, it's been their own mistakes, shooting themselves in the foot, that's making it difficult for them to win. So they just need to do some coaching, and I think they got it.
I'm going fly, Eagles fly. I'm going with the Eagles. I kind of think of Rams home field advantage is like the Tampa Bay Rays home field advantage. It's just it does not show up because you have it never works when the city's divided into 2. But either way, I would say Eagles. Rams have done a great job so far. I think they're the most surprising team right now, even more surprising than the Texans. Puka's looked great. They have Tutu Atwell. It's going to be interesting to see if they zero in on Puka. Will Tutu show up again like he did the first game or not? We don't know. Just be interesting to watch that. But, the Eagles have some young studs. Jalen Carter, I think, is leading all defensive linemen, interior defensive linemen, and possibly, I don't think sacks. I think it's just pressures, but that's still very impressive, at least from a young kid, especially one with so many questions coming out. He looks like he's determined and ready, and I think this Eagles defense is going to look really good. And I think this offense, the defense will probably carry the offense, maybe because of that time zone difference, but I definitely think the Eagles will win.
Interesting, and I like how Brian, you said that the Rams are a surprising team. A lot of people tend to forget that 2 years ago this team was the NFC candidate and they played they're the Super Bowl champ. I just realized that. I'm just going crazy, but so they have the tools, they have the pieces that were part of that championship winning team. So if anyone can do it, it can most certainly be the Rams to take off the Philadelphia Eagles. But moving on, we are going to be talking about the other undefeated team. And that's the San Francisco 49ers. We're going to be staying on the West Coast, and they're hosting another NFC East opponent with the Dallas Cowboys, the 3-1 Dallas Cowboys. So another fun one. This is the Sunday Night Football matchup, my favorite matchup of the week. So who do you guys have in this one?
I'm going to go first. I'm going 49ers. To me, I just don't think the Cowboys have enough firepower offensively to deal with the 49ers. And I'm talking about 49ers offense. Like, I just don't think they can compete, especially with defense, but specifically putting point for point. I just don't see it. Christian McCaffrey is looking unbelievable. I mean, he has, in his 16 games, I think it is, with the San Francisco 49ers, he has like 25 touchdowns or somewhere in that range, 16 touchdowns, 2,200 purpose yards. I don't remember all these stats specifically, but I mean, he looked absolutely unstoppable. He looks like his old self before injury and all. I just think they're very, very good, and they're probably, in my opinion, they're the most well-rounded on paper and off of paper team in the NFL. I personally would put them at 1. I'd put them above the Eagles, but I definitely think they're going to come out with a win.
I'm also going to go with the 49ers because when you're playing against the 49ers, you have to worry about Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, I don't know. Ayuk, and George Kittle. And so, like, when you have 4 people like that to be worrying about, like, that's kind of a lot. Like, most teams have, like, 1 or 2, like, studs, but I don't know. So I'm going to give it to the 49ers. I think they're really,
I'm going 49ers. My dad's a big 49ers fan. I think Brock Purdy is a very good quarterback, surrounded by great weapons. I think the Cowboys' defense is phenomenal, but I think it'll be a low-scoring, not low-scoring, but low 20s type of game, 21-24, something like that. Where it'll be close, but the 49ers will pull it out at the end, because Micah Parsons, great defensive player. He'll get a lot of the rush. 49ers offensive line is good. They can game plan around one player and then take advantage of the backup corners and, an aging Stephon Gilmore. So I'm going to go with the 49ers. I think Brock Purdy, better than C.J. Stroud, top 10 quarterback. We'll keep it going.
Yeah, I'm going with the 49ers as well. They're the best team in football right now. Dallas, I think, is very good, and I think they'll put up a tough fight. But, yeah, looking at the 49ers' offensive weapons, it outweighs Dak and his weapons with Pollard and CeeDee Lamb and, I can't even think of the rest of them right now. But
Brandon Cooks?
Yeah.
He hasn't showed
But
up.
no, and
Nick Ferguson?
I'd take Ayuk over him. So
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah, Niners definitely. Brock Purdy's 12-0 in games he started and finished.
In the regular season, yes.
In the regular season? Yeah, so
That'll end at some point, but
it'll end.
He's very good.
And this is probably his toughest test, is the Cowboys' defense, maybe. But he's got so many weapons. Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk. Is Debo back? Yeah, Debo's back.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
And that defense is
Yes,
lights out.
it's bad.
So
When one's off, another one's on. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like,
Christian
it's like
McCaffrey-
switching on a light switch in a ballroom. Like when
McCaffrey
one
is
goes
so
off,
good.
And everyone forgets they have George Kittle as well, who hasn't really shown up, but when you need him, he'll be
I
there.
think Christian McCaffrey's a dark horse for MVP.
He's so
Yeah.
good.
I think one of the
McCaffrey and there's talk about Hill, but I don't
Hill.
see
I
it.
see McCaffrey more.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that
Unless
all NFL
Hill
fans
gets
are
to
missing out
2,000.
about is the Cowboys. If Diggs was healthy, this matchup would be so much more interesting. It's interesting anyway, but could you
I don't know how much more.
I don't think
I
it.
just
I don't
think
think it changes
to
anything.
me,
Actually.
but
Yeah, I
you
would
look at
agree.
Diggs and Gilmore, which are some of the top cornerbacks. I'm not saying they're the
Gilmore's
top
washed.
5, top 10, but
Yep.
top cornerbacks, one of the best duos in the league, going against Ayuk and
Debo.
Debo. And then on top of that, you have Curse and Hooker going against Kittle and whoever that third may be.
Okay, so let's say you take away all the passing options, you still have to deal with Christian McCaffrey.
Which you would have Micah Parsons or Van Der Esch.
Micah Parsons doesn't cover the running back. Van Der Esch would be.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
But
Parsons
I think-
he goes outside Parsons.
I think the line.
But I'm just
I
saying,
think
like,
the O-line
just
is
in general,
too
like,
strong.
I just think it'd be so much more of an interesting and grind out game. Now you have a weak side on one of the sides of the game, so it's it's not as competitive to me.
I'm with you, Toby. I don't think it takes
I
away
don't
a
think
single
it.
thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel the same. I think no matter what, how this is going to be a firework show of a game. And this might not be the first time, might not be the last time these two teams play each other. I could most certainly see these two teams playing again in January in the playoffs, potentially, as a divisional matchup or even an NFC Championship matchup. But we have a long time to go until then. But that's going to do it. That's going to do it for us here. Once again, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And for now, we'll just see you guys next week. See ya.